Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 1st, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you are interested in the cards that I'm using, they are all listed in the description box below. Now, before we dive into this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body, like storm clouds. Feeling yourself become calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. Let's let this sing as I move the Moonology and the Queen of the Moon cards. These will be layered on top of the tarot at the end to really give the moon a voice of her own. Those right back there. Perfect. All right. Gemini. How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2020 full moon? So it is definitely going to be shaking things up for you guys. All right. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels, my goodness, and spirit guides. They're just flying out, which is really quite beautiful, really intense. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. All right. Now, before we dive into the tarot, let's see the moon, and I have it all set up right here for you guys. See what the moon has to say. Now, this is the full moon in Aries. This is a time for beginnings. This gives power to beginnings. So if you've been saying, oh, I want to start something, or I've been thinking of starting something, but you just haven't had that kind of, that drive, this is the time where the drive, where the fire, the determination comes in. It says a fiery climax approaches. There is a sense of a fiery truth, a fiery understanding that comes to you with this harvest moon on the 1st of October. There is a sense here of a surrendering to the divine as you move forward, and that this surrendering brings you power. So this is the starting point of projects. This is an increase of light, of passion, of courage, of coming together. The archetype of Aries is the warrior. So this is helping you stand your ground. If you find that sometimes it's a bit hard, because Gemini, one of your life lessons, and I myself am a Gemini, so I definitely understand, the life lesson for us is to not mind so much what everybody else thinks. Because as much as we are great with people, as much as there is this search for knowledge, this understanding, we also want everybody to be happy and to be calm and steady and stable and lovely, And you can take those burdens on yourself. And here it's saying, stand your ground, assert yourself, know what you want. And if you have Aries within your chart, or if this is a part of your Vedic astrology, lineup, then this is a part of you that's really coming forward. And you might find yourself being a bit at odds with each other. So it's kind of like the twins are fighting, right? So one wants to stand their ground, says, I know my truth, this is what I'm doing. And the other one says, well, let's keep the peace. So you're going to have a bit of that internal battle right now. You are also being inspired. And as you move forward in this inspiration, you are seeing that you can go after what is important to you. You are seeing that you are restoring kind of the faith within yourself as you're moving forward. You're being bold, you're being impulsive, you're being energetic, but this can also lead in impulsiveness, kind of not work on it, but be mindful of it as you move forward, because it can lead you to act without thinking. And because there is the Knight of Swords energy that can be around Geminis, this can lead to kind of charging forward without thinking it all the way through. Make sure you think and don't just do things, so impulsively that you sit there and you look at it and you're like, why did I just do that? You also have to watch out for letting stress orient what you're doing. Yeah, letting stress guide you. So if you can do stress release exercises, yoga, walking, coloring, music, anything that releases stress from your life, take a nice hot shower, a nice hot bath, and releasing this anxiety, because you're going to sit there and say, I have to get all of this done. This is a time to start, and we're going to use this time to start to absolutely achieve, succeed, and become the best that I can be. And that puts a lot of stress on your shoulders, and it can actually wind up doing the exact opposite that this moon wants to do. This moon wants this time to be a harvest. It is the harvest moon. But if you put too much on your plate, and if you sit there and kind of say, well, I'll give slack to everybody else, but I have to go after this, I have to achieve this, then it is going to be a time that becomes very overwhelming, very aggravating, very kind of against the grain of who you are. And this is when you come to the new moon in Libra, which is on the 16th of October. And the new moon in Libra says a romantic cycle begins. And you are beginning this romantic cycle. And this is saying to you to fall in love and to fall in balance with your life. So as you're looking at what you love, as you're looking at what you want, as you're looking at what you desire, yes, it can bring a new romantic cycle in the way of, in the way of falling in love. But it's going to be much more for you, Gemini, a new romantic cycle within your realm of being, falling in love with your life, yourself, your soul, what you desire. And this brings a new start. It also brings beginnings. So it's kind of like you can walk through that portal. And the Libra energy is going to balance things much more easily than the Aries energy, because you might feel that things become a bit of a battle during the Aries time frame. It can be a bit of an extreme, but if you center yourself, if you look at what it is that you desire, what it is that you want, what it is that you need, things start to become harmonized, and there becomes this deeper sense of insight, this deeper sense of understanding, and this connection through quiet is going to be very important to you. This need for balance, but also this call to what you love, is greatly increased with the Libra energy. And if you, again, have this in your chart or, in your Vedic astrology, it is definitely stepping forward. The new moon on the 31st of October is the blue moon, and it is the full moon in Taurus. And this says your dreams need a practical plan. And they do. They need to be grounded, they need to be practical, they need to be powerful, they need to be asserting your soul, yourself, and what you desire. And during this time, during this blue moon energy, bringing your dreams into kind of the arena of reality is going to be very important to you. It is going to be very empowering. There's also an increase of sensuality. There's an increase of understanding. There's an increase of seeing what you desire and moving towards this truth. Now, your spirit animals for this time are the crow spirit and the dove spirit. And you might find that these are very contrasting animals. They're both birds, yes, but one is, when you have a flock of crows, they're called a murder of crows, and the dove is a harbinger of peace. So with the crow, it says right here, co-create with spirit. And this is kind of learning that even in the darkest hour, even in the deepest part of doubt or fear or of upset, there is this connection between you and spirit. And there is this beauty that guides you forward. There is this, wonder that leads you towards something so much more. And the crow spirit brings in change. It also brings you into alignment with sacred law. You might be finding that you're decluttering your world, or you're looking at things and it's like, I can't do this anymore. I need an authenticity. I need a truth. You're trusting in your personal integrity, but also your intuition, and you're seeing that you matter. The Aries full moon is also making time for you. It is a me first energy. And you might sit there and go, oh, me first, kind of joking around and fun. But you really do want to be seen, want to be heard, want to have your power come forward. And you want to put the needs of what you want in your life first, instead of always putting you on the back burner. And that's what the crow spirit helps you really embrace, because it's personal transformation, it's speaking your truth, and it's bringing messages into this world, messages of change, messages of power. And then with the dove spirit brings messages of hope and of peace, especially when our hearts are broken. And during this time in the world where everything is so chaotic and tough, hearts breaking is kind of easy to understand. And this is gentle compassion. This is a release of pain that you've been holding onto for too long, and it's spreading your wings and it's flying. It can also be going to battle with the energy within your life that has been holding you back, that has been keeping you small and overwhelmed. Now, the left-hand side right here, this is your inner self. The middle is your emotional self, okay, your heart self. And the right-hand side is the public arena, your public self. So let's see what they have to say. The Tower, that makes perfect sense. The Seven of Pentacles, okay? So you have great change coming in, and you have to have patience with yourself. The Two of Wands, the world is opening up. And the Ace of Wands, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, for you during this time of the full moon in Aries, is really handing you this gift of creation, of passion. This can also lead to heightened sexual energy, so do be aware of that. You then have the Page of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. There is a sense of love crowning you, anointing you. There is a sense of being a student of your heart, really learning how to listen to emotionally what you need, desire, and long for. You're starting your Fool's journey, right? Your hero's path. And you can also be looking at some things as foolish, like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I do that? While you are patiently waiting for the beauty to come into your life, you can be a bit hard on yourself. It's kind of like, okay, the past is in the past. You can't change it. You just can't. Then you have the King of Swords. Within your heart's arena, you are king. You are powerful. You are personable, yes, is what Spirit wants me to say. Powerful and forceful and truthful. And you are moving forward in a sense of knowing. I also see the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. They're the warrior, kings and queens. So here, it is you being a warrior of your heart's truth. It's your heart and your mind coming together, knowledge and understanding. The Five of Cups, okay? The Five of Cups is seeing things anew. It's like, yeah, there's been heartbreak, there's been pain, there's been disappointment in your life, and you can live there. You can live there for the rest of your existence. It is a choice that we make. Sometimes it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like my heart has been shattered and it is hard just to inhale. But you have two cups standing. The Two of Cups standing, which is healing, which is hope, which is love, which is beauty. Hold on to those cups and let them move with you and guide you. This then leads you to the Queen of Swords. Oh, I love it. Okay, so whenever I have the King and the Queen from the same deck in a reading, it is a soulmate connection. It is a true love connection. This is also telling me here, especially with this fire energy and this kind of, line right here, that with this fire energy, your twin self, okay? The masculine side of you, the feminine side of you, however you see yourself as a twin, Gemini, is coming together, okay? And you are going to be kind of badass. I mean, that's really quite quite beautiful. It's like, I'm not taking anybody's bull. I am the warrior, king, and queen. I'm moving forward. I know my mind. I know what it is that I want. You can be a bit sharp during this time, so be very mindful of this, okay? Because temper can kind of be raised with the Aries energy, and the warrior aspect of your personality can be raised. So you just want to be mindful of how you are focusing yourself and what you are going after. You then have the Nine of Wands. You're going to listen, and that's what Spirit was saying before with the moon. You're going to be listening to what everybody else wants from you. Excuse me. And you're going to be forgetting yourself, to put yourself first, to, make time for you. It doesn't even mean that you have to put yourself first, because, Gemini, you might be sitting there and thinking, that's just going to be nonsense. There is this sense of, do you know how many responsibilities I have? How many people need me? I can't put myself first. It's not, forgetting everybody else, but it's also knowing that a cracked cup cannot hold water. And you need to be able to hold spiritually and personally the power that you need to walk forward, the power that you need to guide you towards a greatness, towards a beauty, towards a power that is absolutely your own. You have been through the ringer, most definitely. And now it is knowing that, yes, I've been through these battles, but I stand in my truth. This brings you to the Four of Wands. This brings you to a happiness, a joy, a love, a coming together, a new beginnings. And this is a sense of a beauty that cannot be denied. And it leads you to the Eight of Pentacles. This is hard work that has cost you, most definitely. I mean, nothing in life worth having comes easily. And it doesn't come cheap. It leaves us with scars that, sometimes if you sit there and you really think about it, you would think, if I knew it was going to be this hard, I wouldn't have done it. If I knew it was going to be this overwhelming, this intense, this everything, I wouldn't have. And that's the energy that you're looking at here. It's like, if I had known it was going to be this hard, but also if I had known it was going to be this satisfying to achieve, to succeed, to win, I would have won years ago. I would have, changed the outlook, changed what I was fighting for, and really gone for it. And I know that that might not ring true with some of you, and you might sit there and say, Dane, that's kind of rude. And it can be rude, because you have been putting your all and your heart and your soul into everything. And for Spirit to say that if you had done it sooner, if you had known what success was going to be, you would have had it sooner. But everything happens in divine timing. So we think that we could say, oh, I would have done this sooner and it would have been great. But it actually might have been an absolute mess if you had done it sooner without really taking in the wisdom, the knowledge, the hurts, the pains, and seeing the hope still behind you. And knowing that hope and the love for what you want and for who you are conquers all, and you will not be held back. So we start with the Tower. And what's very interesting here, and what's standing out to me, is that there's a blur over her mouth. So for you, Gemini, during this time, with everything that you have been through, okay, with all the changes and all the anger and all the frustrations, because when the Tower falls, when we are taking out of our rigidity, when we are taking out of our comfort zone, and the Tower falls, we are pushed forward in a way that we hadn't anticipated. And it can feel like you've lost your voice. You lost what you wanted from life in this world, and there's a sense of confusion. There's a sense of being overwhelmed. There's a sense of, how do I get to where I need to be? How do I achieve what I want? And more importantly, what I need. So this is divinity that has said, it is time for a change, okay? And you can't stop this. It's like a wrecking ball coming at a building. You can't stop it. Once it gains that momentum, once divinity has decided, it comes. It's those changes in your life that you sit there and you think, and it's like the Eight of Pentacles. If I knew it was going to be this hard. But there's something about the path that you are walking. There's something about the dream that you have within your soul. There's something about what you are going after that is astounding. And you can't walk away from it. You just can't. And it leads you to the Seven of Pentacles. So the change comes in and you see yourself on this path that maybe you never even envisioned. You never thought was going to be your path. You need to have patience with yourself. The prosperity is coming. Does it mean that there's going to be, a windfall overnight? I mean, it would be lovely if there was, and I do hope that for you. But there is the sense here of, needing to be patient. That divinity has the timing set for you. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you demand or want, you can't change it. I always like to say, and if you've watched me before, welcome back, most definitely, and it's great to have you here. But you'll know the story. And with the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Coins, the Seven of Pentacles, I always think of when you have fruit. And I remember going over when I was little to somebody's house, and they would cut up the fruit, all right, and they would put it in a bowl, and it wasn't ripe fruit. And they would sprinkle sugar all over it. It was good. It tasted sweet. And I remember thinking, well, that's brilliant. But the fruit was really, 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 really crunchy. And so I came home and I thought, wow, I have such wisdom from my mom, And I was like, we could just pour sugar on our fruit. And my mother looked at me like absolutely aghast. And she's like, no, you can wait and you can have patience for the fruit to become ripe because it tastes so much better. And when the fruit was ripe and we had it, she was right. It was so much better than when we forced the fruit to be ripe. And that's what life is. It's like if you force it, it might be good enough. It might be palatable and okay. But if you let it happen naturally, you let yourself develop and ripen for what is to come, it'll be astounding. And it will be more than you envisioned and more than you hoped for. And it leads you here to the Two of Wands. It's kind of like because you waited, because you walked through nightmares and doubts and fears and you faced hardships and you woke up thinking, oh my God, I have to face another day, like what the heck type of thing. The darkness that people get into. And it's not darkness as in night, because night can be beautiful, especially, you have fire outside, you listen to the crickets, you listen to the frogs. It can be absolutely amazing, right? The nighttime. It's one of my favorite times. But it's the absence of hope. It is the darkness. You could say it is lightness too. Lightness. It is light too. If you are put in just a pure white room with nothing else, it becomes too much. If you're put in, if all the light is taken away, and you are put in a dark room with nothing else, it becomes too much. And sometimes life is just like that. It is too much, it is too overwhelming, and it is too devastating. Have patience. Things are changing. Now, it doesn't mean to sit back and say, okay, I will have patience and it will come. It means to kind of work your tuchus off and believe in yourself and move yourself forward. And that's why I have these tattoos on my arm. And of course, I have them facing, I don't know if I've ever showed you guys, facing inward, which I know people sit there and have comments on. But they face in because it's to tell me, believe. It's to tell me that if I have faith as small as a mustard seed, I can achieve anything. This is in Latin, synapsis alba. It is also a reminder that no life is without grief, and pride brings a fall. And so here, it is having that remembrance to you as you move forward. It is looking at what you desire and what you want and what you need. And it's all of a sudden like starting to have that faith within yourself as the doubt comes in. And it doesn't mean the doubt ever goes away. It means that there is a hold over it. There is a sense from it that there is more out here than I ever expected, And that's what you should say to yourself. There is more out here than I ever expected. And if you look at people and you look at the ways that people can thrive, or the ways that people can simply survive, it's astoundingly interesting. People do things that you sit there and you're like, wow, there's a living in that. There's power in that. I never would have thought. The world starts to become bigger. Like the opportunities that you have starts to become more because you're not limiting yourself. Now, right now, with the state of the world and everything like that, you may very well feel like, I need to step back and keep it safe. And that's very logical. But the world becomes smaller for you in the sense of, I see that I can hold the world in my hands. I see that I can achieve so much more than I thought. So it becomes larger and it becomes smaller. It becomes larger in the scope of what you can do and smaller in its manageability. It becomes passionate. You become powerful. It becomes truth. And it leads you to the Ace of Wands, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you this gift of passionate power. And because the full moon is in Aries, it's coming at this time of the full moon. And you're going to find yourself, more determined. You're going to find yourself looking at things and saying, why am I holding myself back? What is keeping me from where I need to be? Why aren't I moving forward the way that I want to, the way that I need to? What is here? Because this passionate light shines within you. This passionate determination guides you. And it leads you for you to be a student of your heart. This is a water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Right? If you have water sign energy in your chart, it kind of comes out really strongly, especially if it's in your Venus. Okay? Gemini, your Venus is going to be very, very strong during this time, especially if it is a water sign or an air sign energy, but it's going to be strong no matter what, is what Spirit is saying. And there's a sense of ideas coming forward. There's a sense of not coming to things with preconceived notions and, preconceived, ways of being. You're going to be opening up your mind and yourself and what you desire to what you need and where you need to be within you. And as things start to open, you become a student of your heart, a student of where you want to be emotionally and spiritually. There is also a sense here of, as the world opens to you this way, and as your heart takes in the questions and gains deeper answers, right? As the world has kind of tumbled, as things have tumbled, as you were forced out of your comfort zone, there is this healing, there is this sense of, oh, okay, your heart starts to say, I'm still standing. Because that's something you're going to have to remind yourself, because we need to remind ourselves of that. I'm still standing, I'm still here. I'm still okay. And then it leads you to getting messages from Spirit. It leads you to seeing things differently. And as you do so, you become a student of the way your heart wants you to move forward. And as you embrace your patience, you move with the Fool to beginning your hero's journey, beginning your quest for what you need, for what you want within your life, for what is important to you. And as it opens up, and as you see the way to move forward, and as you see what your soul needs and what your heart needs and what you desire, you start to say, I can walk this road. And it might not be that it becomes, a full-time job or anything like that, but it becomes what brings tremendous joy into your life, which then permeates every other aspect and makes the world richer, makes your existence richer, more powerful, more profound, more beautiful. And you start to say, I can do this. You have the patience here. And then you start to say, I can do this. I can move forward in this way. And as you do so, and as you take these steps, and it's out of your comfort zone and it's towards something more, and you might be thinking, my goodness, how am I ever going to get to where I need to be? How is this ever going to change? Or how am I ever going to change my existence? And you're going to see it happen slowly. And sometimes it happens while we kick and scream that we want to go the other way. But there's a brilliance to it. There's a beauty to you. It leads you to the King of Swords. The King of Swords is you. Is you as a defender of your mind, of what you want. You cut through doubts and fears. You know where you stand. You know what you stand for. You're looking at the bigger picture. And it's like, no, I will not be kept small. I will not be kept quiet. I will not be held back. I'm courageous to go on this journey. It's like, what is it? The wisdom of 1,000 years, or the trail of 1,000 years, starts with one step. And that's what you're doing. You're starting that step. You're taking that step to something so much more powerful, so much more prosperous, so much more. And you can feel stuck at times. Within your heart, you might want to, sit there and just be completely and utterly free. With nobody making demands on you, with nothing calling for your attention, for your time, for your effort, for anything. And that doesn't happen. We have responsibilities. And if that does happen and you can just be completely free, then take that opportunity right now, most definitely. But for those with responsibilities, and I believe responsibilities are the cornerstone of our existence. That's what makes us move forward. That's what makes us, kind of stay and see and understand and build and grow when we would rather run away. And with the King of Swords, you cut through the doubts, the fears, the angers that have held you back. And it's like, no more. I'm in control now. And I'm moving towards something greater and something far more profound than I had ever realized or expected. It then leads you to the Five of Cups. As you take this power, one of the things that is going to come at you is that you're a failure. And I know people sit there and say, Dane, don't say the negative stuff, but how are you to know? How are you to be able to combat when the voice comes into your head that says, you really think you can do that? You really think you can beat the odds? And the answer is, hell yeah. Absolutely I do. I can be who I want to be. I can achieve what I need to achieve. I can move forward in a way that is magnificent. And I will not let my failures be my future. You turn towards the Two of Cups, the healing, beautiful love that comes forward, and it connects you. It connects you because you have the King and the Queen. You have them. Soulmate connection, true love connection, power, truth, balance. You will see this energy kind of really picking up around the 16th. The Queen of Swords, she comes across as a little haughty, as does the King of Swords. Here you are placing the crown upon your head. Here you are wearing it. In the public arena, emotionally, you have to put this crown on your head. You have to sit in the chair, take up the sword, and say, this is me. Okay? See yourself do it. Just take a moment to visualize that. To visualize picking up this crown. Okay, you move over the sword, of course, you pick up the crown. You sit down on the throne. You put the crown on your head. You take the sword in your hands. And nothing and no one can stop you. Because now it's your world. And this is you. This is you knowing, understanding, seeing, embracing the power, understanding the truth, moving forward towards something that seemed to be out of reach before. You will not be stopped during this time. You can be a little bit too focused, so do be mindful of that. A little bit too, this needs to be done. I'm going after it. Nothing's going to stop me. And I am just going to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing until I get there. Don't give up on you, most definitely. But don't think you know exactly the path that divinity has planned for you, because you'll be very surprised with what's coming your way. There is a sense here of beauty. There is a sense of truth. Other people might find you a bit haughty or a bit hard to approach because there's an aloofness to you. It's not necessarily that you're aloof, but that they always feel like you're holding something back just a little bit. People might tell you, oh, you're secretive. You're not secretive. You just don't feel like you need to share absolutely everything with everybody that, people seem that they have to these days. It's like, that's not me. I'm done. And that's going to be a very powerful thing for you, to sit there and kind of take things in and look and feel and see and then move forward. And as you do so, you have to kind of block out everything else demands. So what the world says success looks like, what the world says you should be, everybody's opinions coming at you. Because if they were happy, if they were truly at peace within their lives and themselves, they wouldn't have to try and impact your existence. They'd be contented with their own. And so with the 9 of Wands, it is knowing that you've been through the battles, the wars, the hurts, the pains, and you still stand. But you're weak. Not that you're weak emotionally or physically now, but that you're tired. That's a better word for it. You're tired. And you could think, oh, I'm weak. I'm not as strong as everybody else. Everybody else can just keep on pushing through. And the answer to that is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Most people collapse. Most people will collapse more than once in a very big way within their lives. All right? Be kind to yourself. Let yourself feel and let yourself see and let yourself listen to you and not everybody else, not the proverbial them that has a better idea of things than you do. They don't. You show me a world filled with happy people. You show me people who are contented with every aspect of their lives, that have a peace, a harmony to them. You feel it with those people. You do. And they're few and far between that you will ever meet. When you find them, listen to what they have to say. And then take it with a grain of salt. Okay? And let it dissolve into your life, into yourself. But you still have to know your truth. This leads you to the Four of Wands. A joy and a happiness and a success and a brilliance and a beauty that cannot be stopped. You are embracing it. And it is embracing you. This is a celebration akin to a wedding. This is love that, crowns your archway and moves you forward. This is beauty that becomes a part of your soul and yourself and your existence. And it is breathtaking. It is a marriage to what you desire in your life. It does not have to be to another person at all. It is a commitment to you. To live in brightness. To live with the sun shining on your face, even on the darkest of days. Even when the sky is completely cloudy. To embrace the beauty and the warmth of the spirit and of the world that is around you. It is moving forward in love. It is moving forward in understanding. And as you do so, you will see that things start to fall into place. They just do. This can lead to new job opportunities. This can lead to a moving of house. This could lead to a myriad of things that you had never expected. Especially when it comes to what you are starting here. This can lead to results that you had never anticipated, but are astounding to you. Your hard work has not been for nothing. Though at times you'll sit there and you'll get rather, nihilistic and say, what was it all for? We all do. It was for to learn. It's kind of like when you pick up a hammer and you hit your finger with it and it hurts like nothing else. But you learn until you become a master craftsman, until you become the sort of person who can mold and shape their world. And when they can't mold and shape it, they go with the flow of it, and they see where it leads them. The Eight of Pentacles is prosperity. People seeing your prosperity, and more importantly, you seeing your prosperity. That's your hard work paying off, and it hasn't been for nothing. It has been for something profound and beautiful. Now let's see what the moon has to say. Grab these. How will Gemini be affected by October 1st, 2024 moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2024 moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2024 moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Actually, over here. There we go. How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2024 moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2024 moon? How will Gemini be affected by the October 1st, 2024 moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh, fantastic. with 2 bonus cards. Okay, so let's see here. We start with blossoming. You're blossoming into your own after this change, after, as you wait for the harvest, there's a blossoming. And I love it. It's waiting for the harvest with the harvest moon, because the moon is bringing you the harvest that you need. There is a power that is coming, and there is a ripening of soul and of self. It leads you then to the path, to seeing that the path isn't always like everybody else's, and leads you to places and gives you greater understanding than you had thought, but also leads you in a direction that you had never expected. Because of the portals matching here, be very mindful of October 16th, the time frame around there. This then leads you to darkness, a understanding of the darkness, a embracing of the quiet and the serenity as the passion and the fire is given to you. You then have discernment, being choosy. Don't think that just because it is handed or just because people expect it that you have to go a certain way. Be discerning of the power that you are taking in. It leads you then to conclusions being within reach. And as conclusions are within reach, nothing will come of this outcome. The void, of course, comes forward. Now, for some reason, I did not check the void, of course, times. And I will link them in the description box below. But there is a sense here of not thinking that we hold answers. It's knowing that we hold a myriad of questions. And it's moving towards a truth being created and being called forward that is really quite profound for us. And it's not saying nothing will come of this. It is saying nothing we expect will come forward as quickly as we had imagined. It then leads you to meditate and contemplate, to a centering of the self, especially within the public arena. It's kind of like, know what you want and do not let other people push you or bully you into a different path. You then have the full moon in Gemini, so you have yourself coming through quite beautifully. And the answers you need are coming. Through a beauty, through an understanding, the answers you need are coming. And it's also through the duality that you are experiencing during this time. Be bold and make the first move. Don't wait for things to happen. Now is the time to lay the foundation, to go after what it is that you want, the hard work, the dedication. It's not been for nothing. Your bonus cards. Bring love into the situation. Bring love into the situation. Come with a heart of love. Come from a place of love. And you will be surprised how things move forward. And especially a place of kindness. A place of love where love doesn't expect. It's kind of like love grows and love accepts, and love, it's not accepts in being bullied, and in losing a part of yourself. But it's an accept in being more than you imagined. And understanding more than you had realized, and seeing that all things are interconnected, and it's not who can be the loudest, it's who can truly hear that is important. And then it leads you to your commitment is being tested, the commitment to what you want and where you want to be and who you are and who you want to be as you keep on developing on this journey. It's being tested. And you're also going to be tested to bring love into the situations, because it would be so much easier to fall into chaos. And it's like, no, don't fall into that nonsense. So you blossom towards the path that brings darkness, but also discernment, that brings darkness into the world, a bit of quiet. Saying brings darkness into the world sounds rather ominous, but it's like, no, it brings that quiet, that serenity. Be discerning with the energy that you let in. The conclusions are within reach. Things are reaching ahead, but nothing will come of the situation. What you expect is not going to be what you get. So just be open to the way life moves you forward, especially during this time. You might feel like you're on a bit of a roller coaster ride, or you're in a haunted house or something like that, where things just kind of come at you and you're like, man, I didn't expect this at all. But you do have the blue moon coming on Shamwin, on Halloween. So that is going to have a very intense power, especially if you have that Taurus energy in you, and especially if you are very connected to the phases of the moon. Meditate and contemplate, center your soul, center yourself. Answers you need are coming. The answers you need are coming. So as you meditate and you contemplate, you will be getting answers, and you need them. They're helping you, they're building you. Be bold and make the first move. Don't sit there and wait for permission, or think that, oh, if I do this, it'll be wrong. It's like, no, be bold, make the first move, go after it. Go after it and bring love into the situation, because you're being tested. And divinity is seeing what you will make of the world that you're in right now. Your subconscious message for this time from Luna is patience. Patience. You know, it's funny, I always hate that word. I do. My mother would always call it the P word, you know? She would always pray for patience and then sit there, and she was like, one day, she's like, I'm not praying for this anymore. I don't want it. She's also the most patient person you will ever meet. Having patience within yourself as you move forward. Having patience with how you are developing, okay? Because you're going to want things to go faster. And having patience with where you are heading in life. Knowing that divine timing really is an important thing to be aware of, because it can almost feel as if we're in a hamster wheel and we're not getting anywhere. So having that patience within yourself, and knowing that the time frames that we set up for ourselves in life, that we say, oh, I'll be doing this then and this then, and when we don't meet them, because, you know, sometimes we don't, or when we get obsessed with them and then make bad decisions because it's like, well, it was time. Have patience. And know divinity has a greater time frame than you could ever have created. You and your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones, what you love, are safe, secure. Move forward with that knowledge that you are being watched over by the stars. Because though it is whimsical, it's also beautiful. And even when we hit our darkest moments, you know, you are safe. And there is more out there for you than you ever expected. Your subconscious tarot message is the Four of Cups. The gifts you have before you are rather grand. They are. You might laugh and say, no, they're not, Dane. But they are noticeable and they follow a pattern. Divinity is going to be handing you a gift. And it is going to seem like it is in the plainest of packaging, because it is going to be. But it is going to be so profoundly beautiful that it takes your breath away. Be open to the gifts that divinity brings. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negativity, a raising of our positive energy, as we have the patience to walk in our truth and to live our life purpose. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and harmony, Gemini, and may you have a blessed moon.